Hi, and welcome to the very first the Vixen Voice CEO Conversations. This is our premiere edition, and bear with us because it's the first time we're going live. Jess, are we up?
I'm looking. Let me hold on. Let me go into here.
So, as we're checking and making sure everything's working,
Says
oh
starting
yes, we are
soon.
live on YouTube. Woohoo! This is my first time going live. We always
Love
pre-record it, so super excited to do this. And I'm so excited to be having this conversation today, and that Jessica Weaver is my first guest. I quickly just want to share a little bit about Jess. She's the founder of Women Behind the Millions. It's a TV show and podcast, and she's also the founder of the Woman's Wealth Boutique, which is a national retirement planning boutique for women. I think financial in general, and I'll let you clear that up if that's true, Jess. And what we plan to do today is have an unfiltered, sacred fireside chat
it.
on what it means to build an empire without losing yourself. So I have lined up phenomenal guests. Jess is the first. They are all women who are running 7 and 8 figure companies. But the reason I invited them on this show is because I admire them for the way they live life. And if you're either starting out in business or you already have an empire that you've built, I think there are lessons we can learn from the women that are balancing things well, their spiritual life, their business life, their family, and also pouring into themselves. And we can always learn from each other. So, this chat is not so much about business, but really about those life hacks of how we live our life. Imagine it's just two girlfriends sitting here. If it weren't the morning, we'd be having a glass of wine or champagne, as we like to have, just and chatting it up about what's going on in our lives. And this talk was inspired for me because I have a group of female entrepreneurs, and we do this a few times a month. And it's not a formal mastermind. We just to get together to talk, and we inspire each other. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. And I would love to hear in the comments below if you're watching us on YouTube or LinkedIn, what's your biggest aha and what do you love about our conversation today? So I want to dig in, Jess. Let's get
Let's
going. First of all,
go. Let's
welcome.
do
So
it.
excited to have you.
Thank you so much. It's like we're pulling back the curtains and saying what's going on in the lives of CEO
Yes.
women. Fascinating. Great concept, April.
Yes.
Thank you for having me on.
No, it's my honor. So my first thing is, we're both in pink, and we were chatting about that before we came live. And it's so funny. I know you brand yourself pink. It just happens to be my favorite color.
Ooh.
But we were laughing, and I was like, I don't know. I walked into my closet, and the sweater just called my name, and then I just didn't think about the fact that Jess always wears pink. So these things happen, but I think we look cute.
We do. And I was very close to wearing a pink sweater today. We would have been very much twinning today if that happened. But I'm in I
Oh,
love
I
the
love it.
men's work pieces. So I'm in a pink vest. I love the old school, very
Yeah.
chic ties, and I got hot pink pants, and look, some silver sneakers.
Oh, yes.
I
I'm not
love
gonna lie, I'm
suits
in
with
slippers right
sneakers.
now because I'm in my home office. Yes, I love sneakers too. You're the best at that. So Jess, I want to dig in because one thing I shared with you, it was the year or two ago, and I was talking about starting a very high level mastermind for 7 and 8 figure women, which by the way I am launching now. And you and I were talking about if you wanted to come join us, and you're like, I just can't do it this year. I'm training for Ironman. And I was like, seriously? On top of like the financial firm, having children, being an amazing wife, and then on top of all of this, and your publishing company, by the way, you're training for Ironman, and I just love the commitment. And you had to decide things you were going to say yes and no to make that happen, right? So, why the commitment to Ironman, and how do you feel it has like? What's the hack behind it? Like, how is it helping you show up better as a leader, as a wife, as a mother, all the things?
Ooh, so my husband roped me into doing these half Ironmans together. We've done three. The first one we did as a relay, which was a great way to just get a grasp of what this entails. There's a lot that goes into it. And I think as a financial planner in general, I love the planning of it. So we're coming up to the time of the year where we're going to commit to what our training program is going to look like for probably 5 to 6 months. With that comes the nutrition planning, the year planning. So we're coming up to the holidays. What's an investment for both of us? Because the recovery is one of the biggest things. So one year I got my husband a sauna for his birthday. That was an amazing investment. I was in it this morning. I love going in the wintertime. This year we're going to be getting ourselves those aero boots. So that's it puts air pressure on your legs and you feel like you're floating after wearing them for like 20 minutes. It is amazing.
Oh, I love it.
Yes. Simple things like foam rollers. We have the cupping. We do cupping. My kids even cut me sometimes, my back, if my husband's not around for it. So our gifts to each other for the holidays and birthdays are like tri-suits, wetsuits, saunas, investments into our gear, like our bikes. We were looking at new aero helmets, sunglasses. It can be an expensive sport. It's something that we do. We
Yeah.
usually do it right around our anniversary, which is in the spring. So it's become, instead of an anniversary trip to like an island, now it's an anniversary trip to a new Ironman place to stay. So I view it as an investment into our marriage and having something that brings us together. I One of my
Oh,
hacks is
beautiful.
you do it with somebody that works harder than you. My husband, I give him so much kudos because
Mm,
he starts his shift at 6 a.m. So when he's training, he's getting up at 4 a.m. to get it in.
yeah.
I'll get up around
Yeah.
5:30 a.m. That's a big difference. An extra hour of sleep. So that makes me feel very accountable. If he can do it at an even earlier hour, I can get my butt out of bed and get on the
Yes.
bike, which I was on this morning at about 5:20. I got up, got on the bike, knocked out a speed workout, hit the sauna for 10 minutes, and then I started my day with my kids. But one of my big hacks, April, with the Ironman training is I get so much reading done on the bike and on the treadmill in the mornings.
Mm,
And this is when I spend time with God. So I spend about 20 to 30
yes.
minutes where I am praying, doing my prayers, I'm reading the Bible, I'm doing different things, all part of my routine. And then the next portion of my workout, I'll spend reading a book for work. We have a book club here at the Wealth Boutique. So that's where do you find time to read? Well, I'm sitting on this bike and reading to me makes the time go by really
Yeah.
fast if I'm in a good book. So I get a
Yeah.
ton done there. If I'm out biking or out running, this is where I get my best thinking done. This is where the creative downloads come in. If I'm preparing for a keynote talk or for a TV show interview, I'm thinking through that script. I'm going through it in my mind, thinking of different questions to ask for it. So it's become a great way to isolate myself for a period of time and to
Yeah.
get really focused on what is next. How do I want to show up? What are the key points I want to nail when I'm out there speaking to people?
I think we have a little freeze here.
Are you there,
I think, are
April?
you back, Jess?
You froze for
You
a
froze
second
for a
there.
second on me. Yes. Can you hear
I
me?
can, yes.
Okay, perfect. No, I love it. And I can relate. So, a couple of things came up for me when you were talking. One, when I lived in Milan, um, I was very bored because I was a glorified housewife that taught English sometimes with no kids. I mean, I say glorified because I didn't have kids, right? It was like me and my husband, which he was a lot. So it took some time. But I mean, I had to spend all this energy. Like I'm an A type personality. And also I had some stress because my husband had addiction problems. And so I got really into swimming. And the first time I went to the pool to swim with my girlfriend, like we swam, 5 laps. So 5 times 50 meters. And we were like, why does our heart hurt? Like, this is crazy. And we were in pretty good shape, but it's such good cardiovascular. And so like that slow build was so fun. But I remember one day I was at the pool alone without my girlfriend, and there was a guy next to me that, I mean, was like so fast. And it's crazy how like I kept up with him because the person next to me was faster. Like I swam so many more lanes that day because he raised the bar for me, right? And I didn't even know this person, never spoke to him, never saw him again. So I can totally relate to that. And then I have there's a lot I try to do with prayer every day,
Mhm.
and spirituality and time with God. And so living in Houston, you find yourself on the road a lot. And so I have the rosary recorded because I like to do the rosary every day. And so if I have a commute, I'm listening to the rosary or saying prayers or having that quiet time. So, yeah, I love this idea of you multitasking, because especially when you're in motion, do you
Mhm.
feel like you have deeper thoughts, like deeper downloads, you're more creative? Like, does that add to it, or is it just a multitasking for you?
I would say both. If I am out, especially if I'm out in nature, that's where a lot of the downloads will come. And part of the Ironman is you cannot listen to music. So I train that way if I'm outside. If I'm stuck on the
Oh.
treadmill, I will listen to music and I will read. I will do anything to get through that. But if I'm outside, I don't have, and I might have my phone with me, but I'm not listening to anything. So forcing yourself in that quiet solitude is we don't do it enough.
Hmm.
We really don't do it enough in our day to day and connecting with
No.
ourselves, getting yourself into that zone. And that's where my best ideas have ever come from are on these runs and these bikes.
I love it because, we're going into the holidays. It's the end of the year. Like, it's just a lot is going on for all of us right now, right? And every day I'm like, what do I want? Like, what am I not getting that I want? And right now I am craving that solitude, like the reflective time, like being on the beach, being out in nature. So I'm flying to Tampa this week for a conference, and I changed my hotel. Well, I'm going to St. I changed my hotel away from the venue so like I can go take that time near the water, which is really important to me, and just have that solitude time. So, I love that. And this is one thing too, I think, we're talking about how we hack what we do. Like most people are like, seriously, you changed your hotel last minute? Like, do you get that question a lot? Like, why in the world are you doing that? Like, I just want to share, like, we don't live our lives like the average person. And I think most people don't, but like, you don't have to explain to anyone why you did this. Like, does it cost more? Like, it's totally worth it for that time on the beach, right? Like, just making these decisions that you need and you're craving because I I mean, and I'm curious if you feel this way, Jessica, but I know in my financial business and now in the coaching and mentoring and spiritual business, I know that my energy is the key asset of the business, right? And so I have to pour into my energy. And so that's worth more than an increased plane ticket, an increased like, investment in a first class ticket or staying on the beach, etc. But like what are those little ways that you pour into your energy, even though it may not make sense to other people? Actually, one for you already popped in my head, but I'm curious what you share.
I'm with you, April, too. There are times when you just crave being by the water, and the water is so therapeutic. Part of probably why you got
Yes.
into swimming when you were in Italy, I find swimming, I swam yesterday morning, very therapeutic because it's your full sensories are heightened.
Yes.
You are surrounded by this water, and very often do we have that feeling. And sometimes, I don't know if you ever feel this way, the water feels very velvety to me if it's a certain temperature and to just
Hmm.
be free in the water. I don't know. There's something about it. I'm worried too. But as a CEO, we tend to go with our gut, our intuition. So we might make these very quick, rash decisions because all of a sudden we're going one way and like, that does not feel right. And it's almost this craving that you will, I got to switch gears really quickly because if I go that way, I'm not going to be as happy. My energy is going to be low. I'm going to be frustrated or resentful. And you can almost see it starting to build. Let me switch gears here to preserve and protect that energy. We might rearrange our schedules because of that too. If I am fully
Yeah.
drained and I'm showing up for a client meeting, not at my best, I'm not helping anybody out.
Yes.
So those boundaries on our calendar, our schedules, and our time is priceless. We need those.
No, I agree. You're not helping anyone out. And in fact, I had a rule. It started when my dad and I were working together, when I was learning the financial business from him. And then I moved to Houston and opened my own. But it was like, if someone wears us out first appointment, they're not invited back for a second, right? Because if they're a taker, they steal your energy. You're
Yes.
showing up with less energy for that next client who really
Amen.
wants your help and wants what you can pour into them. And so boundaries are so important. It's just critically important. And a lot of times, especially as women, we feel guilty for this, or we feel responsible for our nurturing part comes in. I think you have to like really override that and understand like if you don't put the oxygen mask on first, you really can't be there for anyone.
Yes, it is so true. And then as a mom, I do my daily morning practice every morning. I get into the office, I journal, I pray, I meditate. I started to do that also switching from being done with work to then picking up my kids from school. I needed another grounding separation instead of going right from meetings all day
Yes.
long to now my kids
Transition.
being extremely needy to so whether I do it at the office or I go home and I take a shower and it's almost like this cleansing of the day and then I can show back up. I'm like, whatever you need to do, get it now. I'm jumping in the shower. I just need 5 minutes. I need 5 minutes of my time to regroup and refocus, kind of transition roles from running businesses to now I got to take care of little people who need me still. And I can't act like they're my employees. they, they are my children.
No, you have to shift that energy. I always like, that's one thing I work with all my clients on. Like, okay, if you find yourself going into your masculine mode during the day, which we aren't always in with the work we
Mhm.
do, but if it's a day where you're like, go, 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 how do we cut that off in transition so you don't walk into the home with the same
Um,
energy, right? Like, go, go,
so
go,
true.
bossing everyone around. Like, you have to, like, it's really important to shift to your feminine energy to show up at home. And I feel that's how most women want to show up. It's not like you
Mhm.
have to tell them, right? They really want that. And they just don't understand that it's actually a skill set and understanding how to shift that energy. Like you have your rituals you do, your shower or that transition time. And, rituals are extremely important, just like rituals before going to bed or rituals. One of in my mastermind the other day, someone was like, how did you just move and your office is already set up? And I was like, no, no, this wall was painted before I moved because I knew I had two keynotes in this podcast this week. Like we had to be ready to go, right? Like the office was set up before I even moved in. And she was like, yes, I share a home office with my husband and like we're under construction and it's chaos and my 3-year-old isn't sleeping. And her like big takeaway from, our mastermind that she invests a lot to attend was like, I got to go organize my office today. And like, I will have so much calm, but it's true. And
Mhm.
like, we don't give ourselves this grace of what's important, and you need to have order at some place. Like if you have young children,
Yes.
you have a new business, you have maybe sick parents, like if you have chaos in all these places, like you have to create your little area of calm, which it sounds like you do through your routine.
Yes. Can I share? There's two things that I just started habit stacking in the
Yeah,
mornings with
please.
because they're like, how do we fit all this in?
Yeah.
I've been getting really into that lymphatic drainage for it and also
Ooh,
a
I love it.
nervous system reset. So in the mornings in the shower, I
Yeah.
take about 1 to 2 minutes to do a few things on my face, my neck, and my vocal cords to one drain the fluids and then also to reset my nervous system. And I get, and I think it's the chlorine from the pools. I get these insanely burning, itching legs from the chlorine. So then, as I'm putting lotion on my legs, I'm doing the drainage on my legs, and those two things have been a game changer for me in the mornings. So whenever we can habit stack these little 30 to second 1 minute things with just your
Yes.
daily routine to make it a little bit more accountable to getting it done, those have been huge. And I feel you
Yeah.
pick up these little pieces as you're talking, having these conversations with you,
Yeah.
April, and other successful women. What can we do to physically be good and grounded and taking care of ourselves throughout the day?
I agree. And it's funny, I started something similar. I have the same problem with my legs. So, one, I find when my hormones are balanced, I have less of that. So, I think part
Ooh.
of it is hormones. And like,
Hmm.
so when I forget to do my natural stuff I do to balance my hormones, that gets worse. So, it kind of flared up with everything I had going on. And so what I started doing is as I'm putting on, I actually do blessed castor oil on my legs where that
Ooh.
is before I go to bed. And I started saying the Our Father as I put it on. So like I'm
Mm.
asking for healing at the same time and like putting and gratitude for my body and this temple that God gave me. And so like really, yeah, instead of just slathering lotion on your legs, like turn it into something deeper, right? Just like you do with your lymphatic drainage. And I take the time to be grateful and pray.
That's beautiful. I never thought about combining that, but no. Tomorrow morning, whole new day to implement these things. I'm
Yes.
glad I'm not alone in this with the itchy legs because I did
I,
so much research and it takes talking to people. Like ChatGPT
yes.
probably was made by a man because they're not
Yes.
understanding this concern. But it takes having these conversations. I swear.
Most of them are programmed by men. So
Yeah.
that is actually so true. If you think of the leaders in AI, that's hilarious. No, it really is. And actually, I discovered it through my spiritual healing family. And so we thought it was something to do with our spiritual evolution. But yeah, no, it's bad. It's like painful. It'll wake me up sometimes. So I found the blessed castor oil really helps
Mhm.
me. It's just all natural castor oil that I get blessed, and then
Ooh,
yeah, it's a big deal. So I think these are the little things like we don't talk
exactly.
about, right? And that's the whole point of having these conversations, and why I
Hmm.
think you have to surround yourself with women who are on a similar journey, all in different places in our journey. I know, you're building your wealth management firm. I built mine and sold, and I'm like this new business I'm totally different with. You run your wealth management company much differently than I did. And like I think it's so beautiful because we can inspire each other with our differences, but so much of what we do is similar. So much of what we deal with is similar. And so, to keep it really helps me keep my sanity staying in touch with like my girlfriends who are in similar roles. So a lot of times we think about, oh, I need to join a group for business strategy or this or that. Honestly, with AI and the internet, like nobody needs more information now. They just need to have deeper conversations and experiences, which is why I wanted to bring these conversations up.
And community. And community, right? AI can't
Yes.
robotics cannot replace community and that feeling of being validated, seen, heard, and accepted
Yeah.
is what we feel like we
Yeah.
are always craving.
I love it. Well, I want to honor your time because I know you have a lot on your plate. And by the way, if you're listening and you want more of Jess, check out the description. If you're watching us on YouTube, it's in the description and the show notes how you can get in touch with her and also how you can deepen the conversation with me. I'd love to chat with you. And if you're watching us on LinkedIn, same thing. If you go to the event at the bottom, there's amazing information, including we didn't even touch on this, but you have a publishing company. Like, how freaking cool is that? That you're helping women be authors. So, all the things. But I would really love to wrap up with two questions.
Mm,
So, my first one is I don't believe in sacrifice. I mean,
mm.
that's a big statement. I do admit, but most people. So I have these goals for this quarter. I
Ooh.
don't have time to do XYZ.
Mhm.
Not I'm going to give up these things for or now to hit this goal, right? Like when I started my podcast, The Vixen Voice, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to have time to cook. I have to, so many episodes, the launch party, getting everything in place. I'm going to do meal prep for the quarter. That lasted for 2 years before I started cooking again, but I just planned it for the quarter, right? So that was my not now. Some I've had clients say, I'm not going to worry this quarter, or I'm not going to make excuses. So just, you always have such big goals. So
Mm.
right now, are there any not nows you have? Like things you want to do, but you're like, you know what? Just not now, right?
Oh yeah, a ton, a ton. And I think we get very frustrated when we're not hitting those not
Yeah.
now goals. We do like 5-year goals in 10 days and we get frustrated. Why am I not getting these? But we have a
Yes.
lot with the wealth boutique, adding in a tax division. That's been on our mind, probably
Love
not
it.
next year, but the following year. Creating a whole studio, that's been on the back burner, as we say. That's not a not now,
Yes.
that where we have women that they're able to come and we can do everything all within maybe 2 to 3 day little retreat, where it's from your photos, you're getting some episodes done, we're getting clear on your book, really building out your whole marketing branding plan for a year and the vision of your business. And do so
Amazing.
both on the Wealth Boutique and on the Pink Fix production side, we have a lot of goals and dreams. We're going to, another not now is adding an advisor in every state. We are taking the time to invest heavily
Love
in our
it.
current advisors and build them up instead of just growing to grow. We want to grow really intentionally and with the right people. So it's a not now, but it's going to happen. And I think we just need to be able to trust that we are women who are very high achieving. And it's not like if it's not on our plate right now, it's not going to happen. It is going to happen, but it's going to happen in the right time.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think, especially when you're a true visionary leader and CEO, you're constantly ideating, right? Like ideas are like flowing from everywhere. So I think it's so important to, I call it the shiny object list, like the things you would like to do, but like not now, because it gives me confidence now. Okay, I'm not going to forget. It's there on the list. I just know I can't do it right now. So thank you so much for sharing that. And then my next question is, I also think to hit our goals and do all the things we do, we have to declare our non negotiables, which are the things we are not going to sacrifice right now.
Mhm.
So, what are like one or two non negotiables like that you are not willing to sacrifice, like for any amount of success, money, however you articulate it?
Yes, I would say traded in my faith for business, not being expressive over my faith would be a big non-negotiable where I'm not showing up as myself if I have to hide that version of myself. Another big one, and it plays into that sacrifice of, and I don't view it as a sacrifice, it's a choice. I want to be home with my kids at night. So I don't do a lot in the evening networking,
Yeah.
which is what a lot of our business is driven from in the financial industry. And we're finding ways that we can still have the growth that we want to grow, but still be home for my kids. And I'm hoping that for like other women on our team that don't have children yet, that they'll be able to see this and say, okay, I can have a successful, robust, growing career and business, but I'm still going to be able to
Yes.
have a balance with my family life too. So I'd say those are my big ones. And then getting my workouts in. That's a non-negotiable. I'm going to get those in.
Yeah.
I am fully committed to it. And I am a lot happier of a person when I do them. And I feel when I don't do them, it stresses me out. It's almost that release I need. And I think as CEOs, we need that release. We need something where we can put that pent up
Oh,
stress,
100%.
energy, worry physically out of our body.
Yeah. Well, first, I want to thank you for setting the bar. It's I something very compelling activity. And same thing, I built my entire financial firm to multiple seven figures and sold it without networking. And people are like, "What?" I'm like, "No, I want direct marketing that I can measure. Like I want to know
Mm.
what I'm getting for this time." And so,
So
but I love that you're setting that example for moms and women who want to be moms, because I think so many women leave the financial industry because of the burnout of expectations of things like that.
mhm.
When it drove me nuts, because I'm like, honestly, if you want to see clients from like 8:30 to 3 while your kids are in school, you can build a thriving financial practice and like totally be present as a mother.
Very
Yeah.
true.
So thank you for that. I love it. And my final question, and then I know we're slightly over, so if you have time, I just want to hear what's lighting you up right now. Like, what's something you're really excited about in your personal or professional life?
Ooh, we are being a part of our community's Festival of Trees where we're going to be decorating a tree. All the proceeds go to our senior center, and then people can buy the tree and donate the trees to families that can't afford one for the holiday time. So, in 2 weeks, and I have all the supplies getting shipped to our house, we are doing a money and mistletoe themed tree. I cannot wait. I will be posting all about it. But we
I
have been
love it.
thinking a lot about getting more involved in our community. A lot of our gifts we do from local small businesses. We found a mother-daughter team up in New York, not far from us, that do all of our client gifts, boxes, and stuff. So tying in that local community, which again, AI can't do. Well, how can we bring these people together and really have a family around wealth, a sisterhood around wealth? So that's what's lighting me up because I also love the holiday time.
I love it. Money and kissing, two of my favorite things
Mistletoe.
combined.
Money and mistletoe.
I know, but when you're under the mistletoe, you have to kiss.
That's true. That's true. Yes. I didn't even think about that.
I love it. I had a joke that did not land, but that's okay. So as we
Right
sign
over my
off,
head.
I just want to share two things. You can see where my head is right now. So right now, two things I am taking away from this conversation, because the whole point of us having this is to impact other women so they have takeaways and inspiration. Is one, I would love your lymphatic routine if you'll shoot it to me, or if you want to share, I can even put it in the comments. And two, you have inspired me. I just moved to the burbs where life is so easy,
Mm.
and there is a beautiful athletic center 10 minutes from me. So I'm going to start swimming again. So thank you so much. I appreciate. So
Fantastic. I love it, April.
so what was your inspiration? Did you have any ahas during our chat today?
I sharing of these little tidbits. When you talked about your legs and the hormones, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. And so much of how we're regulating our body, our hormones, the food that we take in as well. So thank you. I
Yes.
felt I was very alone in this search for my itchy legs. Um, but yeah, and then as you were explaining the not nows, that's a great reframe that it's still on the table, it's there, even though we're not having it a priority right now, doesn't mean it's not important to us.
I love it. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for being my first guest on this version of the Vixen Voice CEO Conversations. I hope everyone listening enjoyed getting to come behind the curtain and hear the conversations that are had behind closed doors. I will be bringing this to you every other week. So set your calendar for this time. Every other week, I'll be bringing you another amazing female CEO. And if you have questions or things you want to know, start participating and drop your questions, and I will add them to the conversation. Thank you so much for joining us. And again, check out Jessica, her firm, and all of her businesses in the info below. And if you'd love to continue this conversation in a mastermind or one-to-one coaching with me, check out my information below as well. Have a blessed day, everyone. And Jessica, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for having me, April. Such a pleasure to see you.